Hello guys, my name is Akbar. Welcome back to my channel Learning for Future. So today we're gonna discuss the complete CI/CD part in Jenkins. Okay, so let me have a quick walkthrough what I have in my AWS console. I have created a server EC2 Jenkins CI Java, and I have a server called Jenkins CD Tomcat. So what I have done in these two servers is I have installed Java as a prerequisites. After installing Java, I have installed Jenkins. After installing Jenkins, I have installed Maven. So let me connect to this server and show you what are the versions I have been installed here. Let me go back to, um, let me connect to the server. We'll go to Git Bash. All my keys are there in downloads directory. So I'll go to downloads. Let me go to downloads. In the downloads directory, I have something called my all keys are there in downloads. So I'm connecting to the Jenkins server. So I'm connected to the Jenkins server. Let me see what is the version of Java is installed here. Java hyphen version. Sorry, typo mistake. Okay, so the Java version is 21. I've installed Jenkins and MVN. What is the Maven version? Apache Maven is 3.8. This is the home directory. Okay. So apart from this, what I have did for this server is I have enabled the inbound role, which is a port 8080, so that I can access the console. Okay, let me go to the instance. I'll try to access. So this is my IP. This is my IP, and it's listening on 8080 port. I've enabled the inbound role. Okay, my Jenkins console page is open. So here I have a multiple jobs over here. So this is the one for freestyle job, which will help you to understand how to extract a Git. In my previous videos, if you have seen, I've shown you this, and I have shown you how to run the Unix commands by using a bash shell. Now this is for freestyle Maven, where if you can see this job and go to configure, you can see from how I have extracted the Git code under SCM. Let me go to configure. Okay. So now this is the source code. I have given my Git URL Akbar Lab 99 test maven.git, which is the code which is working for me. So this is the master branch I have given here. After that, I've gone for PolSim so that if any changes is happening in my Git, so it should trigger automatically all the options. After that, I've given this Maven commands. I'm not using Maven job. I'm using a freestyle job. That's why I'm giving this MVN commands. I have created another job where I have used Maven job without MVN command. I have given all these things of Maven lifecycle. And after this, var file. So for where I have to deploy the particular var file, I have to deploy it in a Tomcat. So I've created a Tomcat user in the Tomcat server. I came here, click on add Jenkins, and I've given the go with the username and password, and I've given the here username and I've given the password like this. I've added the couple of users here, which is a Tomcat and deployer. So I'm going with the deployer. Now, what is this particular URL? This is like a Tomcat. This is the Tomcat URL. Yeah, I'm sorry. So this is a Tomcat URL. So from where I've got this Tomcat URL means I have created a EC2 instance. I've enabled the inbound rule, which is again port 8080. So this is what the IP address. Let me show you the EC2 instance what I've created here for Tomcat. This is the one. Let me uncheck Java. Let me go with the Tomcat. So this is the IP address. Okay. So 253. Yeah, 253, and this is the port. Okay. Now my GitHub code is this. Akbar lab 99 test Maven. Let me go to Akbar lab test Maven. Okay, I'll go to this repo. I'll go to my source. So index.jsp. Here, I'll just click on edit. I'll just mention demo for YouTube students. Okay, I just want to make some changes so that as soon as I make changes, what my expectation is my Jenkins job should trigger automatically because I've selected the poll SCM, which means triggering a job. So I'm going to Jenkins job. I'm going to my Freestyle Maven. Let me click here before I do the changes. So what is my expectations here is I should see this message when I hit the Tomcat URL. Okay. Let me go to the job first. Okay. So this is my code and FS Maven, which is a freestyle Maven. So here it is 5 jobs have been run so far. So as soon as I say commit changes, so my job should trigger automatically. Why? Why? Because under poll SCM, I have configured. Let me show you. Yeah, under poll SCM, I've selected all the 5 stars. Hours, minutes, day of the month, all these options. Okay. So this should trigger your job. So as of now, I have how many jobs? 5 jobs. And as soon as I commit, the 6th build should trigger automatically without any manual interruption. And then the deployment should happen. What is my, okay, go here. Okay, this is my Tomcat. This is the public IP. Let me go here. 8080. So this is my URL. Okay. So what my expectations? Let's see currently here. This is before the changes. Venki V2 learning with passion is a before changes. Now, what changes I have done here? Demo for YouTube students. Now, if after doing the commit, this destination has to change. Okay, the message has to change after the deployment. Okay, so now let me go through my Jenkins job. I'm going to click on build now. What will happen once I click on build now? The particular var file gonna deploy into the Tomcat server. Okay, as I've shown you, I have created a couple of EC2 instance. One is for Jenkins, one is for Tomcat, and the Tomcat, both of them has been enabled for 8080 to access in the browser. Then I have configured the users in the Tomcat, and I am running the job now. Okay, so that my changes, whatever I've did it in GitHub, which is automatically trigger in my Jenkins job, and my output should be, it has to change like whatever I did for YouTube students. Okay, now I'm committing my changes. Let's see how beautifully it's gonna trigger automatically. Okay, commit the changes directly to master branch. So this is a practice environment I'm doing in the master branch. Okay, it's got committed over here. Now let's come to Jenkins jobs. Let's see how the trigger is happening or not. Because I have selected for trigger PolSM, the build should trigger automatically. Okay, let me refresh it. The build should happen automatically, and that particular build has to deploy in my Tomcat, because in my Jenkins jobs, under the post build actions, I have given the Tomcat URL and the Tomcat user. See, the sixth job has been triggered. Earlier it was only 5 jobs. Why the sixth job has triggered automatically? Because in my GitHub, I did a changes and I committed the changes. So in real time, any developer is doing any changes, the Jenkins will pick automatically if the trigger option is enabled. Now this build is happening. Let me see what is happening in the build. Let me go to console output and see what's happening there. Okay. So my build got successful. My snapshot got generated under varlib Jenkins. Okay. So now, and where this has been deployed to the container. What is the container name? Container to Tomcat 9 remote context null. So let me go to my URL here. Okay. Let me refresh. So if I refresh here, what is my expectations? My expectations is whatever the changes I've committed here. Demo for YouTube students. Let me click here. Let me go there. Just refresh it. See, got changed. Earlier it was Venki V2. Now this has been changed to demo for V2, demo for YouTube students. Now let me go to my Jenkins job. Let me go to FS Maven. Let me go to configure. What exactly has been happened here? It's picked the code from GitHub. Trigger is being enabled. Tomcat URL has been added. Tomcat users has been added as part of a Git credentials. That's the beauty of a Jenkins. The execution will happen in a fraction of seconds. So all the changes, any changes which been happening in the Git in real time. So it will trigger automatically. Now this is a git changes, git URL, which I have extracted the git code, and then the master branch. If it is in a real time, it could be a development, it can be QA, anything. As it's a practice environment, I've gone with the master. Okay. Now I've triggered poll SCM means what is a poll SCM means? This is a trigger section. In the trigger section, I have seen all these things. Now, environment, I didn't go for anything. Whereas build step execute shell, this is what I've used in commands. I've installed the Maven in the Jenkins, but not the plugin. If I have the plugin, if I have the Maven job, then I no need to give this. So as of now, I've given Maven. Now, next go to deploy to container. So how I have added this deploy to container is, right? You have to go to Jenkins job dashboard, manage Jenkins plugins. You have to go. I'll show you later once I complete this. Okay. So I've added the plugin called deploy to container. So I've given the var file, and from where this var file has to deploy to the Tomcat server. Like the way I've created a EC2 for Jenkins, the same way I've created EC2 for a Tomcat, and I've installed a Tomcat. I've enabled for the port called 8080 inbound rule, and then I've configured the users in the Tomcat. I've added those users here. How many users I've added? Deployer and Tomcat. And then I've executed save, apply, and build now. Let me show you how I've added the plugin, as I mentioned earlier. Going to my Jenkins job. Manage Jenkins. Under the manage Jenkins, there is something called available plugins, installed plugins. So I have to search for available plugins. Available plugins means if it is not installed, then it will show you under available plugins. Go to plugins. Go to available plugins. So available plugins. Sorry for delay, guys. My system is a little bit slow. So deploy. As I've already installed, so it's not showing under available plugins. I have to go to install plugins. Let me go to install plugins. TEPLOY. See, deploy to container, this already enabled, which means this is already installed. That's how I have installed the plugin. So go to available plugins, install the plugin, then you can see this green tick mark. So once you see this, you're good to go. So that's how. Let me do it a changes again. If you really want to see it again, click on edit, demo for YouTube students. I make a changes as a twice. Presentation. Just click on edit. Directly committing to the master branch. Commit. Let me go to my Jenkins job. Let me go to my dashboard. So both are same URLs. So I'm going to FS Maven. As I have enabled the trigger, which is a poll SCM, to trigger the job automatically. Now, what is it going to do? It's going to trigger the job. So as soon as it triggers the job, it will pick the changes from the GitHub and it will build it. The particular var file going to build with the help of Maven, and that particular var file is going to deploy where in the post build actions I have given as a Tomcat. It has to deploy, correct? So that's where it's going to deploy. See, seventh job got trigger. Earlier it was only 6 jobs. Now the seventh job is got trigger. Once this is successful, let me go to console output. Wow, it's got success. Let me go to my Tomcat URL. Let me just refresh. See, as of now, you don't have anything here. What is the changes I've done? Twice presentation. So what I can expect here? Demo for YouTube students. Twice presentation is expected as soon as I refresh my URL. This is my URL of Tomcat, okay, which is listening on 8080. See, I got the output. So my deployment is a damn success. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of Jenkins job. So I have explained you completely how to build the job and deploy the job. Okay, this is through Maven. If you have a Maven plugin added, okay, this is a job. Now in the Maven plugin job, what you're gonna do? You no need to give MVN like the way they have shown you, right? MVN install, MVN compile package. No, you no need to do that because you have added a Maven plugin. After adding a Maven plugin, you can see the Maven job itself. So under the goals section, you can go ahead and directly give install, compile, test, packaging. No need to give MVN, okay? So this is my configure page. As part of a first step, I've given my Git URL. So from where it has to extract, GitHub Akbar Lab 99 testmaven.get. After that, you have to give the branch, whatever it is. So I've not selected here Pole SEM, but I've given the POM XML, pom.xml, and then goals options. See here, I am not giving anything called MVN validate, MVN compile, MVN test, MVN package. Why? Because I've already installed the Maven, and this is the type of a pipeline I've selected is Maven. So that's why I'm doing MVN validate compile test package. So I just click on apply, save. Once I try to build now, then that particular same build, what is there in my test Maven, that's going to build and convert that into the war file. Now that's the difference is when you are executing without a Maven plugin, you have to give MVN command. But if you have a Maven plugin, you no need to give MVN. So I click on build now. Why? Because I have not selected the trigger poll SCM option. I'm building it manually. I'm clicking on here to see how the build is happening. This job is not having much builds, only 1-2 times have been executed. Now, if you click on, that's a beauty. In my previous sections, I've clearly shown you how to create an instance, how to install Jenkins, how to run the commands through Jenkins, how to extract Git through Jenkins. So this time today, this demo is for complete CI/CD. If I start from scratch, it's going to take time. So I've already created those instances. I've enabled those inbound rules. I've configured the users in a Tomcat, and I've directly showing you the demo of execution. Okay. So you have seen how to add plugins. You've seen how to add users. Now you have seen the with Maven plugin, without Maven plugin. That's the beauty of Jenkins. Let's wait for a minute. It's going to execute it so that it can have a build in a short span of time. Let me refresh it. With the help of Jenkins, what you can do, you can execute commands with the help of Jenkins. What you can do, you can extract the Git code with the help of Jenkins. You can build the code with the help of Jenkins and Maven. You can build the code with the help of Jenkins. With the help of Maven plugins, you can execute without Maven lifecycle commands, without MVN. And I have added a Tomcat as a deployment server. Tomcat is an application server where your application has been deployed. Whenever I do changes in my GitHub, everything gonna trigger automatically and I can access my URL, which is a Tomcat server IP and a port. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. You have to bear with me. Okay, if it is gonna take time, I'm gonna going back. Okay. Let's hope for the best. Let me click on view as a plain text. So it's continuously loading. That is fine. So anyhow, you're clear on all the things, right? How I have extracted the code in ACM section, how I have added a plugin of Sonar, how I've added a plugin of Maven, how I've added all these things. Still executing. My God. Okay, guys. Let's wait for 1 minute and then we can wind it up. Anyhow, we have seen the execution of CI/CD, right? I'm going to stop the video. Thanks for your time. Thank you, guys.